Hey gang, Coach Crystal here. I'm gonna go over some foam rolling. Did you know it's supposed to take a minimum of 15 minutes to foam roll? Let's get to it. So we're gonna start by just sitting on this foam roller and rocking back and forth to loosen up your glutes. I'll show you from the side. Right, so back and forth here like this. Just kind of warming up your sit bones. So the importance of foam rolling is to help loosen up your muscles to prevent injury. So if you think about a cold rubber band and you go to pull it, it's gonna snap. Muscles are very similar to that. So you wanna make sure that they're properly warmed up, right, with the foam rolling before you even go into stretch or corrective or warm up mode, right? Very, very important to prevent injury. So next what we're gonna do is we're gonna extend one leg out straight. We're gonna cross one leg over and grab onto that with your opposite hand. This hand's gonna come back behind you and you're gonna flatten that foot out front, right? And I'm taking my pelvis from being parallel with the foam roller and I'm leaning at an angle towards this, right? So what's happening here, we're just gonna go back and forth. Sometimes this might be intense, so intense that we're just gonna kind of sit here and breathe in and out, right? Relaxing, try to release that muscle. That pressure that you're feeling is where your sciatic nerve is, and it's very important that you do feel that pressure, although it might be uncomfortable or slightly on the verge of pain. It's that pressure that creates a release. So for people who have sciatic nerve pain or hip issues, this is gonna be a really important one for you. What's happening here is that we're moving the glute out of the way so that we can get to all those little muscles in underneath it to help loosen those up. So we'll wanna spend a couple minutes here and we'll do this side and then we're gonna switch to the other side. Okay, so stay here if you're finding that there is pain or that you're feeling a knot or something like that. For all intents and purposes for the video, I'm gonna move on to the other side. Okay, so again, extending one leg out straight. I'm gonna cross the opposite. And as I grab this hand, I'm putting this hand back here behind me. Bending this leg and then rocking back and forth on the foam roller. Now you'll see my back is a little rounded here. You can intensify this by straightening out your back and sitting up nice and tall. Okay, just rolling back and forth. Just being aware of any pain you're feeling in the shoulder that's supporting you. So for my right hand here, just pay attention that you're not overextending it. You shouldn't be feeling any pain in your shoulder. And if you do, stay tuned till the end of the video because I have some other ways that we can get to some of these muscles and I'll go over some of those tools after. Okay, so after we've spent a few minutes here, we're gonna come back to that starting position and we're gonna plop our butt down, extend the legs out straight, and we're gonna start from the low body and work all the way up to increase circulation, right? So we're gonna spend some time here rolling the back side of the ankles. You can relax your feet, flex your toes, kind of mess around and just explore and pay attention to anything that you feel in terms of if something feels tight or tense, linger there for a bit and work it out, right? So I go here, and we're just doing the whole back side of the calves. And if you would like more intensity, you can cross one leg over the other so that you can kind of actively push down with one leg. You know, if you're someone like me who has tight ankles from standing a lot, and oftentimes you can get tight ankles from sitting. Okay, so we'll do this one, and then we're gonna do the other one. And I'm just slowly working up the back side of my calf. Okay, not really rolling the backside of the knee just because there's a lot of wiring and stuff that's going on in there. And then I'm gonna move up to the backside of my hamstrings here, so just kind of beyond the knee. And I'm gonna post up and roll kind of almost all the way to my glute. And just breathing as I do this. Whether you're up on your fingers like me or you wanna be on your flat hands, kind of back and forth. And you can turn both toes to the left and you'll get to the inside of one hamstring and the outside of another, and vice versa to the opposite side. Okay, so we're gonna move on now to the back. So we're gonna go kind of the base of the rib cage. And I'm gonna put my hands up, mind the ponytail if you have one or the hood if you have it, just so that it doesn't get sucked down behind the foam roller. And I like to support my head with my hands and breathing in and out. I specifically like to breathe in here while the foam roller is kind of more towards my shoulders. Again, we're not on the neck yet. And I'm gonna breathe in and And I'm gonna exhale as I roll over the foam roller. And sometimes you'll hear some audible either clicking or popping. That's your spine self-adjusting, and that's a good thing, as long as it's not on the verge of severe pain, right? So we're gonna spend some time here. This is an important one. There's so many muscles in the back that are interconnected, that can get so tight from either sitting behind a computer screen, as most of us are doing in our daily lives, or driving. If you spend a lot of time driving, it's really good to help open this up. So do spend some time there. Like I said, it should take a minimum of 15 minutes to foam roll your whole body. I'm just going through some of these different moves, and you can time it accordingly. Okay, so next what we're gonna do, this is important, we're gonna roll out kind of the back side of your lats, right? So the side of the body a little bit. So again, with my arm up, I'm gonna take and twist my body all the way to one side. Again, I'm not quite in my armpit, I'm more so on my rib cage, and I'm gonna roll back and forth here like this to really get into that lat muscle. And I'm gonna spend some time on one side, and then I'm gonna spend some time on the other side. All right, so I'm gonna turn. Okay, so as we do this, right, so I'm starting kind of down here more sort by the side of the chest. As I do this, I'm slowly kind of working my way up to the back side of my armpit, because you wouldn't believe how many shoulder issues can happen because there's tightness back there, right? Because we spend so much time leaning over forward, loosening up all those muscles that are supporting us while we lean over is very important. So we're gonna spend some time here, kind of rolling from all the way to the back and all the way to the front. Okay, we'll do that on both sides. Okay. So again, that's kind of the proper way to roll the back and your lats. Next, what we're gonna do is roll the neck. Gonna move down a little bit here. So again, making sure that your sweatshirt or ponytail is out of the way. This is one of my absolute favorites. And I'm just basically using the foam roller like a pillow. And I'm gonna do a kind of a no motion with my head, taking my chin from shoulder to shoulder. This is one of my favorite ones to do before bed to help de-stress. I could lay here like this all day. Right, back and forth. You can also take and roll all the way to one side, right? And kind of, again, kind of moving the head back and forth, getting into all of those little intricate muscles that we forget about all the time, kind of in the base of the skull. And you can even go so far as to roll all the way on your side, rolling your ear, the side of your cheekbone. One would never think this feels so good, but it really does. So again, we do that on both sides. And then once we've done that on the back, okay, we're gonna flip it and reverse it to the other side. All right, so I'm gonna lay with kind of my chest on the foam roller, a little so you can see me here. So again, the foam roller isn't right along my side, it's kind of at an angle a bit. And the goal is to get in to all those intertwined muscles in the shoulder, right? Where your rotator cuff is, where your pec meets your shoulder. And we're gonna roll back and forth on that muscle. And this can be a little tender, and keep in mind that we've got lymph nodes and things in here. So just pay attention to the pressure that's right for you. And I'm just kind of shifting my weight this way, side to side. And I also like to take it a step further and extend my arm out straight, and I'll take and twist my hand towards the ceiling. And I'll work kind of the whole front part of that shoulder, the front delt. And you can also slide the foam roller away from the body a little bit, so you've got some more room to get into the bicep here. Okay, so I'm gonna roll back and forth there. And likewise, you can also turn the arm in the opposite direction, get a little bit to the tricep in the back. Triceps are a little tight today. Okay, and again, we'd wanna do this on both sides. So lastly, what we'll do is we're gonna foam roll your quads, the front of your thighs. So we're gonna come down, drop the thighs on the foam roller, making sure that your elbows are to some degree right underneath your arm there. And we're gonna roll back and forth, and I'm going from the top of my knee, right? So I'm not quite rolling my knee, all the way up to right before my pelvis. Okay, so all the way forward and all the way back. Sometimes this can be intense. So some tips and tricks is you can, to intensify, lift your toes up off the floor, and to fight gravity, you can put your toes on the floor, and I'm actively pushing down and dragging my toes along the floor to lessen the intensity. Okay, so back and forth like that. Now I'll do you one further. A lot of people have issues with their knees or their hips, and it's as a result of the muscles being tight around your IT band. So if your chiropractor, or massage therapist, or your doctor has told you that you need to work on your IT bands, this one's for you. Okay, so you've seen I've taken my stance from being parallel, the hips being parallel with the foam roller, and I'm gonna turn and twist to the side. Note, I'm not on my hip, I'm on my thigh, right? So I'm not here, I'm here. Okay, and this leg on top is over, it's fighting gravity, I'm pushing down with this hand actively, and I'm posting up and supporting myself on the shoulder. And I'm gonna roll myself back and forth as I breathe in and exhale out. Okay, and you can kind of mess around with leaning forward a little bit, tilting backwards a little bit. We wanna get in and around that whole muscle, and believe me, this is very intense, all right? So this is intense. If it feels that way, you've nailed it. And if this is something that is new for you, you can try it, but please understand you don't have to linger here for a long period of time. This is something that we build over time. It doesn't happen overnight. Okay, and then we switch to the other side. Just gonna show what that looks like from the other side. So I'm gonna turn and twist my body, right? Turn and twist the body. This foot's gonna come up a little bit and flat to support myself. And then I'm gonna roll back and forth. It's one of those kind of hurts so good feeling. All right. So if we've done that right, we've lingered and probably spent about 7 to 8 minutes on the front of the body, 7 to 8 minutes in the back of the body, and that is foam rolling 101.